If you're thinking of using a controller to play Baldur's Gate 3, here are some reasons why you should definitely give it a try. There's a seamless transition between switching between a mouse and keyboard to a controller, and back again. As you see, currently the game is using my mouse input, and it displays a cursor on the screen, but as soon as I press a button on the controller, the game recognizes it and changes the interface. I can now use the D-pad to navigate the menus, and in-game, I can use the left joystick to steer my character, and the right joystick to rotate the camera or zoom in and out. If you press the start button to pull up the menu, you can see the game detects whatever controller type you're using. Currently I have a PS5 controller plugged in, but here's what an Xbox controller would look like as well. If you press the L1 or R1 buttons, or the bumper buttons, it pulls up a fully customizable set of radial menus with all of your actions. You can add new radial menus and delete them like shown here, but I recommend just fully customizing the first one with your most used abilities and adding all of your lesser used abilities to the second and third ones. Now let's move on to some actual gameplay. You can press L2 to pull up your list of party members, which lets you select options such as leveling up or splitting the group. As you can see, the game was built around a completely different user interface for controller inputs. You can press the X or A buttons while over lootable bodies or items, and it will pull up a new menu to select which items you want to take, or you can also press triangle or Y to loot all.
This feels like home. There is something unknown and unspeakable deep within your heart.
Looks like the Dark Urge is enjoying using a controller for his murderous rampage. Which brings us to our next section, combat. I will say that this is where it takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you have your radial menus set up how you want them and you remember where everything is, it does become muscle memory. I had a little bit of trouble here since I had tried to add everything to a third radial menu rather than just customizing the first one like I mentioned earlier. However, the good thing is that you can still instantly swap back to your mouse and keyboard for combat if you prefer that. Notice that at the bottom, it does keep track of how many actions and bonus actions you have available, which is super helpful, and it'll gray out any actions in your radial menu if they aren't available to you. Some last things to go over is if you press the R2 or right trigger, it pulls up another radial menu of all of your other tabs that you might want to check, such as your character sheet, your map, your rests, spells, or another way to level up. If you press the middle button on PlayStation or the back button on Xbox, it'll pull up your map for you, and you can drop pins or fast travel from here as well. Clicking in the joysticks allows you to pull up a cursor to move with, or highlight all of the lootable items in the area. In the start menu, there's also a quick save or quick load option available should you ever need them. And here's a quick look at how seamless it is to switch back to mouse and keyboard if you ever need to. Just click your mouse or press any key and it'll switch the interface automatically. If this video helped you out, please consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a like, or sending a comment.